Now, Labor has been in power for 13 months. Are you feeling lucky? Yep, it was 13 months ago that Anthony Albanese fell over the line, promising to make life easier for everyone because everything was costing too much. Are you feeling lucky yet? Feeling better off? During those 13 months, the Reserve Bank has met 12 times, and on all but one of those occasions, they have increased interest rates. Yep, rates went up another 25 basis points today. Under Labor, rates have gone up from 0.35% to 4.1%. And I don't have to tell you the massive difference that makes to your mortgage repayments and therefore your cost of living, your lifestyle, your peace of mind and your prospects for the future. But Labor, which was bragging about a boost in wages just the other day, doesn't accept any responsibility. It blames the Reserve Bank.
I do expect that there will be a lot of Australians who will find this decision difficult to understand and difficult to cop. The Reserve Bank's job is to squash inflation without crunching the economy, and they will have lots of opportunities, of course, to explain and defend the decision that they've taken today.
Look, Labor's shambolic economic management is all too familiar. We see it every time they come to power. They always promise to be different, but they go back to the same old failings. Too much spending, too much debt, too much inflation, working with unions to push wages up too quickly, pushing productivity down with re-regulation of the labour market at the behest of the unions, interest rates up, cost of living crunch, and no doubt, still to come, an economic downturn and unemployment rising. It's like Groundhog Day. And don't say I didn't warn you before the election. There's a big deception in the Labor promise. They say things are crook and they say they're going to make them better. Under them, people are going to get more money, higher wages, cheaper power, a lower cost of living. But how are they going to do that? With extra spending? They say no. With extra taxes then? They say no to that too. So everything's going to be different, but everything's going to be the same. Which is it? How are they going to work this out in practice? He endorsed a 5.1% increase to the minimum wage. This would be inflationary, of course. It would put more upwards pressure on interest rates too. Therefore, it would increase the cost of living and probably increase unemployment too. Yeah, and remember just last week, Labor was seizing on comments by the Reserve Bank Governor about their budget.
The Reserve Bank Governor has made it very clear about the government's response. He's said this.
I don't think that the budget is adding to inflation. It's actually reducing inflation in the next financial year.
That's pretty clear. That's a pretty clear statement. I don't know how it could have been more unequivocal than that.
And the Reserve Bank Governor, as I said before, acknowledged that this morning, telling Senate estimates, and I quote,
I don't think that the budget is adding to inflation. It's actually reducing inflation in the next financial year.
Those are the words of the RBA Governor. He also backed the spending restraint that we showed in the budget as well.
Yeah, what they didn't mention then were other comments from Philip Lowe made on that same day, and they made it clear that he was the only one tackling the inflation and interest rate problem because Labor was too weak to use other tools, like cutting spending.
The other way that you could reduce aggregate demand at the moment is to increase taxes or reduce government spending. That's hard.
So what about
it's easier for us to increase interest rates. So that's the assignment of responsibility.
Yeah, funny that, isn't it? In a national economy, everything is connected. And everything Labor has done so far has increased costs. It's broken promises and increased costs on business, on taxpayers, on consumers, and especially on energy consumers in business, industry, and in family homes. And the extent of the energy crisis, just how bad it will get and how long it will take, well, that now is starting to hit home with more and more people.
Power prices will stay high for years, and going into winter, the energy supplies are precarious. Potential danger of blackouts or brownouts. These warnings, not from the opposition, not from the politicians, they come from the power industry today. And the very flat allegation is we've been conned. We've been lied to. High power prices, dodgy supplies. Why? Because of the rush to renewables.
Yeah, the Neil Mitchell program, like this program, has been belling the cat on this for years. It is national self-harm. We cannot make the renewables energy transition. We will face a worsening crisis in reliability, and the never-ending cost increases will flow through to all of the rest of the economy and exacerbate all our other problems. So Labor is doing to you, the economy and the country exactly the opposite of what it promised to do. I've always said this would be the undoing of Labor. The only question is the timing and how much damage they do in the meantime. It looks to me that the media amnesty on Labor might be coming to a close. As usual, the public will lead the media. Public pain and anger from now on will start to filter through to the Green left media that dominates our public debate. And Labor will start to wear a lot more of the blame from now on. It's time for the coalition to get back to its economic fundamentals and map out the alternative.